You already know what I think of the MS-1 Mermaid. Heck, you may remember my opinion of Hidizs' AP100 DAP, and subsequently understand why I don't recommend using them together. If you don't, it's because AP100 hisses way more than the MS-1 likes. Seriously, it basically blows it up. Incidentally, hiss is the main reason I don't plug Hidizs' earphones into my favorite Minidisc players and recorders, not to mention a number of DAPs out there. Honestly, it is almost as sensitive as Shure's SE846. You'll just about hear trace shh sounds from every source, no matter its price. I say just about because a few choice modern devices are basically free of hiss. Hidizs say that the MS-1 sensitivity is just 112 decibels, but if the spec sheet read 130, I'd not be surprised. Against the Mermaid version, Rainbow is practically a toy, or at least weightless. It's got a solid heat shrink sleeve around its cable, which totally tosses Rainbow around. Heck, it even tosses around heavier earphones. Want to set it on a table for photos? You'll need tape. Want to hold it between two fingers? Get some glue. If Rainbow were physically smaller, it wouldn't be so unwieldy. But gosh, even if all you have are post-puberty metrosexual man figures, you'll have a hard time gripping Rainbow. If you're a woman or a kid, you're probably good. The good news is that Rainbow's resin shell won't really scratch, or if it does, it doesn't show, and let's be honest, it's cute. Somber and sexy as it is, the Mermaid version of the MS-1 is kinda serious. That said, now that its shell is clear and lets me see inside, I wish Rainbow were much smaller and anything but the tired, custom universal design. What have I in mind, you ask? Well, something like a bigged up Audio-Technica CK10 or a Tin Hi-Fi T4. Either one would be perfect. Rainbow's larger body makes it easy to attach and detach cables and earpieces. On the flip side, it's hard to stuff into small ears. My wife managed, but not comfortably, and me, well, it goes in, but we'll get to comfort a bit later. The 2-pin jack wears a protective sleeve 1mm thick. It's matte and not easily scratched. It also diverts contact-borne wear effects away from the body, as well as makes it easier to locate the port in the dark. Like Mermaid, Rainbow is impeccably fastened and finished. You'll find neither glue nor gum anywhere on its body. Its finely tooled and finished grille is sexy. The one fly in the ointment is that its logo sits atop bare resin and in time is bound to rub away. The cable is solid and protected from tip to tip in substantial sleeving. The maw in the up end of its Y-split allows the cables a bit of play. As to the mic and its slimish remote, it sounds okay and houses controls for up and down volume if you have the right phone. Rainbow's box is thick and deep, and white inside and out. Inside it is a smaller box within which you'll find a cable and earpieces. Above that, in tailor-made niches, is MS Rainbow in a color of your choice. Under all of that are a manual, discount card, and Hidizs business card. The earpieces are divided into two nose styles, tapered and flattened. Both are pretty resistive, and for my ears, neither is comfortable. The draw bag is simpler, cheaper, and probably better equipped for the daily grind than the awkward boxes that came with the Mermaid editions. Overall, I like what Hidizs have done with Rainbow, but I really wish it had some softer earpieces. Rainbow looks great, and despite its sparkles, is less kitschy than MS-1 and MS-4 that preceded it. It sports color where it should, dekes out strange gilded designs, and even manages to keep a playful feel with its solid, silver-coated cable. It is the cutest design Hidizs have yet put forth. Sound-wise, the essential MS-1 remains unchanged. It retains crisp, sparkly highs, lean bass, and forward mids. The LUT renders close to completely neutral at the ear, with no discernible rise and lows and only a small rise in the upper mid-range. I find that the included ear tips accentuate the upper mids and highs, which aftermarket sponge flanges soften. Either way, there's a small amount of environmental reverb going on, which I loved in the original MS-1 and love still. That said, Rainbow has just a bit too much high-end sparkle for live dancehall recordings. The reverb helps add context and describe the environment, but it also may accentuate how piercing the highs become. In the last 3 years or so, I have come to prefer earphones with a high-range warming or softening low-pass filter. Here, I much prefer MS-4 to both MS-1 models. The thing is, the sense of speed and mid to high-range instrument delineation you get from the MS-1 are incredible. Spatial cues are right on from the mid-range on up, and even in its mild bass, the MS-1 pushes a good sense of stereo detail, if not texture. That said, in a volumetric sense, Rainbow delivers a mildly wide stage. Stereo cues fall just a bit wider than the shoulder and don't rise much above the crown of the head. The Z-axis is more impressive, detailing a decent space out to the elbows. Tin Hi-Fi's T4 goes wider and farther forward than Rainbow. It also does so with a perfect amount of high-end roll-off. There is some similarity between Rainbow and Sony's EX1000, but the Sony's softer high-range edges are easier to listen to over a long period of time. It also casts a much larger stereo stage along any axis. While Rainbow, large, cool-looking and sparkly, is basically the physical opposite of the Darth Vader EX1000, it sounds like an adolescent, squeakier voiced version of it. Coming from a man that loves the EX1000 to bits, that is high praise. Another cool thing about Rainbow is you can plug its mic'd cable into something like a Sharp Auvi Minidisc player, and while there is a bit of hiss from it, you'll finally get actual stereo. Of course, the cable with Rainbow isn't a true TRRS cable that delivers just audio signal to the earphones, but it has 4 poles, and however it's wired is basically perfect for the Sharps, so that where you got previously no stereo at all, you now get good stereo, probably in the range of 50 to 60 decibels. Conversely, if you plug the same cable into something like an Iowa Minidisc player, not only will you get massive amounts of hiss, you'll get absolutely no stereo. Completely fused, like 0 decibels. So you listen to a mono recording. So kudos on one hand for Auvi Minidisc users, and not kudos for the people that use other brands of Minidisc players. The MS4's bass is maybe just a little bit too much in some circumstances, and it sounds a little bit too closed in here and there. But man, if we had about half of the amount of pressure that you get from MS4 in the MS1, it would be a perfect, rather exciting, kind of high bass pressure earphone, and something that is a little bit better in some areas than the EX1000. As it is, it's a good flat sounding earphone with a bit of sparkle on the highs that may be perfect for you if you like that thing, or it may be just a bit too much. Rainbow looks better than Mermaid, and it is funner to use. Its packaging, carrying bag, and more are up to date and stylish, but unless you have tiny fingers, it isn't as easy to handle. I really like the direction Hidizs are heading, and can't wait to see a Rainbow version of the MS4. But more than that, I hope they will consider ditching the custom cum universal design.
See you guys later. Buy a hat, $20. Ship it out to you. Serial number. This is the current design. You'd make a request if you want. It's freaking awesome. Or hit up my Patreon page. See you guys later. Thank you.